Cherry trees are extra special in our Japanese garden, but in Japanese culture as a whole, because it really is something that unifies people and brings people together and kind of shows that strength coming out of winter, and kind of one of the first signs of, spring and hope. My name is Ethan Coté, and I'm one of the horticulturists in the Richard and Helen DeVos Japanese garden. And today we're going to talk a little bit about cherry blossoms. Yeah, cherry blossoms are always a really exciting time of the year. It's usually one of the big indicators that spring is coming, even when some days it doesn't quite feel that way. But nature always kind of goes at its own pace, so we always start to see some of the different stages of the cherry blossoms coming in, and we typically try to track those. So the first stage is the green bud stage, and that's always the one that we start to get a little more excited about after the buds start to get a little more swollen, and then they go from a little bit of a brown bud to more of a green bud, and then after that you start to see some visible florets, and those are eventually going to be your blossoms, and they just start to get a little longer and poke a little bit out of those green buds. And then the third stage is when those florets start to extend and kind of become more of that, pre-budding flower shape, so a really elongated, still fairly green, but showing a little more of that color that you see in the cherry blossoms. And then the fourth stage is the peduncle elongation. The fifth stage, which is definitely the most exciting for everyone, is that puffy white stage. Even when some of the blooms are pink, a lot of them are white as well, so it's kind of a universal term of puffy white. And then kind of going off of that, it's kind of an unofficial stage 6, but it's the peak bloom stage. What signifies that is when all of the trees, when about 70% of them are in bloom, that's considered peak bloom. It's always one of the most exciting times for us, especially in the cherry promenade section of the Japanese garden. It's one of the big indicators that spring is coming, and then that's kind of the kickoff for a lot of the other trees and shrubs to start flowering, and we're already starting to see some signs of some other trees starting to flower, so it's all kind of coming together. In most cultures we think of spring being life coming back after a long period that may be a bit cold and a bit lifeless, but it's definitely a huge indicator of life. And it's always just so exciting to see that color come back after seeing, brown and gray and kind of those bleak colors all winter. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you enjoy the beauty of these trees as much as we do. Stay safe, and we can't wait for you to enjoy the grounds whenever you get back here.